nothing gets better until you do. I'll go first. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Because you exist to get better. That means you exist to evolve, you exist to make a contribution to our world, and what you have to offer is within you. And unless you are ready to offer that, then nothing gets any better. And I'm saying that because, see, I didn't do that. I wrote an article. I'm going to attach it to this, but also several years ago, I started making comments like, I'm the reluctant mystic. And that was because I've known for a long time what was happening in the world and how I healed and changed my life. But I'm also highly introverted. And I know that to a lot of people, that doesn't make sense. Even to my brothers, they're like, "But how can you do this?" I said, the only reason I do what I do is because I'm being pushed. I know I have to because I know what's going on. And I know that what I have could help so many people during this transition in our world. Everything that's occurring now, if you've listened to me for any bit of time, you've known that I've talked about it years ago. And the article that I'll attach to this was something from 3 years ago, talking about what would be happening in our world, what was happening in the United States, the challenges we might move through, and also the fact that I had something that could help more people. But I had to get better. And the reason I had to get better is that I had to really finally acknowledge what I had. You see, I walked through my life healing everything. I know what humans can do. I know and if you've come to any of my Wilhelm channeling sessions, you've probably heard a lot of that. Or I might have answered your questions if you came, and that was probably really crazy to you as well. We live and experience everything through our consciousness, and there are different levels of it. Whenever we might live in the world, we decide how much we're going to access. And then our lives sometimes will cause us to access more of it simply because we're under stress. Let me figure out something. And that's exactly how mine started in 1988 when I first started receiving this information. And then I used to transform every single part of my life, heal everything, create businesses, and then I gave it to many others. They've done the same thing. And years ago, people asked me, why are you giving up your vocal coaching business? I said, well, I'm not really giving it up. I'm just pushing it to the side because I know that there's more that I can do now. You see, I started vocal coaching in 1988 as well, and didn't think I could do anything with it. But then I made millions of dollars doing it because it was something that I developed through my consciousness, which every human can do, which is why I wrote a couple of articles talking every human succeeds the same way. There is no difference. There's no difference in how you achieve success in your life or experience that other than changing your mindset and being willing to change and become yourself. That's really what it is. Your authentic self, who you were born to become. And I love now working with people who are accessing that and proving this to be true. But what I said is that the world is changing. We've all seen it. We've seen all the weather conditions happening. And if you go back and listen to any of the Wilhelm channeling sessions, you'll hear that all that information came through because we're all responsible for everything that goes on in the world. We are understanding that now because we have science can tell us how we create our lives and how that affects the world. No different for anyone. So what I was told with this work that I was given, and you can see it happening, say we're going to go through some really dramatic changes. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. Some people are going to try to hold on to what was there, and then they're going to try to control everything else. And listen, this probably is going on in your life too, in your families and all. And I see it everywhere. We have parents trying to control their kids because they're turning out to be something different than what they thought. You were only supposed to bring them into the world. That's all. They're going to have their own lives. They're going to develop as individuals because we each have very unique individual DNAs that's meant to evolve and expand as we live our life. But when we don't do that, then we become angry. And then we try to change everyone else instead of looking at ourselves and deciding, gee, I'm going to be really happy now. I'm going to move through all my limitations and restrictions. We're all born broken. Let's say that. We're all born with limitations. Otherwise, there would be no point in us having a life. Why would we be alive now unless there was something within us that God gave us that we were meant to develop? That's every single person. But sometimes you can be like me. You can be afraid of it. And that's the thing that I see the most is people afraid of changing, because to do that, you have to move into this unknown territory and you don't know what that is. And the world is doing the same thing. The world is trying to change. Now, you can go back and study all kinds of sciences and astronomy and the galaxies and all, and you can see there's a reason for all the changes that are happening. They're affecting our weather and all of that as well. But humans are doing it too. We affect everything because it's our energetic contribution that we make. And the one that I'm going to make now is to make things better. That's what I'm going to do. And it's just who I am, who I've always been, and now it's just become far more important for me to be that person now and to make things better, and that's only self-acceptance, every single person. And I'm seeing it happen now, which is really a thrilling thing. But I'm talking about this now because the next week we're going to see a little more dramatic changes, and it could cause a lot of fear to come up. However, if you know who you are and what you're here to do, it's going to be completely different. And it's also why I'm doing a channeling session next week as well, because that movement might be a little turbulent, and the more of us that can come together, find some common ground, and elevate who we are, then things are going to change. But it's going to take a while, and that's why this work is so important. But this is why it's time for you to really understand your importance. It's an individual thing. It's not going to look like anyone else. That's why I wrote a message that you were supposed to be unique. That's the main problem that all of us have. I had that problem because why am I so different? Why could I receive information this way and heal everything? I didn't want to tell people because that's just weird. And most people do that. You develop something, you heal something, you overcome something, but then the embarrassment and the shame of that, you can't talk about it. And that is the thing that we need to change now, because we're going to have all kinds of dark energies coming up within us. We got to get rid of them if we help to live the lives that we want to have and accept who we are. And that authentic self that's connected to God is a brilliant being, and we just have to get back to that. The more of us who do that, the better our world will become. And so I'm taking the first step. I'm no longer the reluctant mystic, and you've probably seen that already. I knew for months that I had to talk about this, and I did this one interview that's now 140,000 people have watched it, and they were so grateful because they found some hope. And that's what we need now. And so that's what I'm going to be offering. So I hope you come to this channeling session or listen to the other ones, because if you listen to any of them on my YouTube channel, you will hear the information that came through that is giving us advice and guidance as to how to move through this period, because we've never experienced this before. This is a really stressful time in the world. However, the more of us who come to own this, especially you light workers and way showers, I kind of have been leading a lot of them as well. And I know I've been hiding out, but no, I'm no longer doing that either. It's time to make great changes and to become better. And that is owning who you are, because you were born to do something extraordinary.
I haven't done anything like this.
It's increased the confidence that I've had in myself.
Everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life. My income, the progress is just amazing. Like, you can see changes from week to week.
Introducing your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. In this 3-month online program, you will learn the mindset tools you need to dissolve the shame of your past, discover the gifts within you that make you important to the world, and get the confidence to rise above anything that stands between you and the life that you want.
Everything changed in my life. Everything. Every single thing.
It's time for you to reprogram your mind for success and become self-actualized. If you're ready to transform your life too, learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.